Welcome back, YouTubers, to another video with one half of the British Fist, me NJ, and my special guest for this video, and possibly one, two, if not more videos a week, Mark Hyden.
How's it going?
And before we start this video, we're going to hear a few words from Mark, just so you know a little bit about him.
Well, like yourselves watching this, I've been a big fan of the British Fist work for 2 to 3 years. Like and respect NJ and Mr. Parkin immensely and what they do for all of you people, including myself. Been a wrestling fan for many, many years. I was brought up by my dad to watch wrestling. My earliest memory being watching WrestleMania 3, seeing Hogan slam Andre the Giant, and I've been a massive Hogan fan ever since.
And before we find out any more about Mark, we're going to go into this video talking about the exciting returns of Jericho, The Miz and AJ Lee. And as we move on through these videos, you're going to get to learn much more about Mark.
Yeah, I mean, so we get Miz come out in a white suit. An interesting white suit, NJ. What do you think?
I think with Miz trying to show his arrogance or his self-importance, I felt that suit was meant to put the light on him, make you look at him, make you see something different about him. I'm not sure if it came across that way.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's returned back to Raw in something other than skinny jeans from Hollywood, which was a little bit of improvement on our good friend, Mr. Batista. But yeah, I mean, it was nice to see The Miz. It's unfortunate that he is theoretically now in that role of perhaps an enhancement of newer talent, but it was nice to see him back.
But the biggest problem with The Miz is when he was a heel, he had his fan base, he had people supporting him, he became a main eventer, they turned him face, and at the time they turned him face, I was okay about this because they had possible heel feuds to put him against, which would have interested me. Punk, Miz on the mic, and it was something good, but the WWE dropped the ball and it lost interest quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he is a heel, isn't he? It's as simple as that. I mean, the face turn, okay, it worked for a little while, but to be honest with you, his best work's always been as a heel, and I think it always will be, to be honest, on the mic as a heel as well. He gets over so well. But no, it was nice to see him back this week. It was interesting that obviously the WWE teased that, 2 former champions would be coming back. Most people were thinking, was this where Lesnar's going to be popping up? But no, for Miz to walk out there, it was a little bit of a surprise.
I think that was a nice surprise because no one thought of Miz. Maybe people have forgotten about the Miz involvement in the WWE. And I think the reaction helped us to realise how much the WWE Universe really care about the Miz, because the universe, the crowd were almost close to being silent, and I think that's a real shame. And I think the WWE needed something to happen for Miz's involvement to spark some interest or reaction.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting that and bringing this a bit on from the Miz is that I wasn't expecting necessarily both champions to be in the same segment. I mean, Miz coming back, I thought that maybe he would be setting himself up with some sort of feud with somebody else. Evidently, then we hear, break the walls down, and in comes Raw is Jericho, Chris Jericho, which again, no, far from it. I'm a bit of a Jericho-holic myself. I like his work. I like the guy. I wasn't necessarily expecting them to be in the ring necessarily in the same segment, though.
With Jericho's return, I think it was a bit like you've got a 3-hour Raw and you've blown, in a way, 2 of your returns in one segment, and they didn't really connect or want to build a feud from this because of what came later. But Jericho's return has definitely helped that part of Raw because Miz's return drew nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder to a degree, were they sending Jericho out for that reason? The crowd were silent, unfortunately, for The Miz, which is a shame because he used to provoke massive reaction, let's face it. But, Jericho arriving out there, talking a bit of trash to Miz on the mic and him giving as good as he gets. Nice code breaker to end. But, overall, it's nice to see both of them back. I just hope to a degree that Miz, more so necessarily than Jericho, has got one more serious title run in him, because I just hope they don't go down the RVD route, the talent enhancement route, the jobber route, if you want to call it that, because let's face it, the last time we saw Chris Jericho, that's exactly what he was doing with Fandango, wasn't he?
People defend Chris Jericho because he's one of the talents who have been in the WWE and given people good matches, good segments, and put people over. But with a guy like Chris Jericho, you expect him to be the centre of attention, the guy who tries to steal the spotlight.
Raw is Jericho.
That's another thing that made Jericho who he is. So you expect him to win matches, to make him seem like a big deal. Him losing each show, each pay-per-view, each match, really weren't giving us the Jericho feeling.
No, I must admit, I mean, I like what I will give WWE credit for in this. I like the fact that it didn't just simply end with a code breaker to Miz and then Raw is Jericho and then off we go off the air for a break. We then get the lights go down, the little vignette, and then boom, the Wyatt family are in the ring. Now this excites me. This does excite me. What are your views on that, NJ? Because I'm interested to know, is Jericho going down the route of coming back to job again? Or is Jericho going to be a serious contender for Bray?
This is quite questionable, because at the same time we want to see Jericho shine, not just on the mic, which we know he can do. We want to see him be the performer, the winner that he's been in the past. So for him to come back and go against a rising talent in Bray Wyatt, who really needs the wins in matches because he didn't really gain enough in the John Cena feud. So I'm questioning, is it going to be Jericho getting his warm-up wins, or is Jericho going to yet again continue putting over Bray Wyatt?
I mean, as much as I do love Jericho, and I really do, think of him very highly as a performer and his mic skills, to be honest, I think he does need to be doing that here. Bray is still struggling to get over what happened with John Cena, whether people like it or not, it's a fact. And I think he does need to do that here. Jericho, as much as he is coming back after a lengthy absence, the right thing, as far as I'm concerned, would be for him to do the job here to Bray and to send Bray into SummerSlam with leverage.
At the minute, I can't really understand why these two are feuding. Why has Bray picked Jericho? But when they explain it on Raw, I do believe and do agree that Chris Jericho should give Bray Wyatt his main eventish style wins, so Bray Wyatt can move away from his losses against John Cena, and gradually go on to wrestlers who he will defeat and continue building up a name.
Yeah. I mean, on the other hand, on the flip side of that coin, I don't know where Miz is going to go. I hope he hasn't come back to be foolish, because, I look at what the WWE are doing with certain real good talents, like, for argument's sake, Damien Sandow. I really hope we're not going to go down that angle. Although, having said that, it's interesting to note that the last time we saw Miz, he was working with Ric Flair. No Flair on his return.
With the Miz, I think they're going to have to try and put, with the no reaction he got, have to rebuild him again. So he may go after Sheamus. He may go eventually for the Intercontinental. I think he's going to have to start there again. And I can't really say Miz is going to be putting over talent, because Miz for a while now hasn't been a put over guy because of his stake in the WWE.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I took from his promo when he did have the mic time on his own without Jericho was that he mentioned he's after, why has he come back? Why has he come back? He kept questioning the audience. He made it quite clear he's after the World Heavyweight Championship again. He won't be happy until he's won that, which, we know already what the main event is going to be for Battleground, and we sort of know what's going to be happening at SummerSlam as well. So it's interesting to see how he builds to this. Whether he goes via the Battle Royal Intercontinental level, maybe.
Well, joining in with this is that even if Ric Flair was to make an appearance, I'm not sure if Ric Flair could help Miz right now. As a manager, Maybe, but I just don't think adding Ric Flair back to Miz is going to bring Miz up anymore. Maybe when it first teased it would, but now he wants the world heavyweight. But the amount of people that have wanted the world heavyweight in the past, like before it got released, Jinder Mahal was teasing going after Orton's world heavyweight. So to be honest, Miz could say that he wants it, but I don't think it's possibly going to happen. I think he's going to start mid-card and see if he can build himself back up.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, to be honest. Obviously, Jericho's going down the Wyatt route, which is fine, and he's set that up. It will be interesting to see what happens next week on Raw, to see where Miz is going. I think I tend to agree with you. It has to go via mid-card, and I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, actually, if he comes in and wins that Battle Royal for the Intercontinental. But it's interesting because it poses a few questions as to, from a feud perspective, where he's going to go, because a lot of the mid-card talents are already in feuds, really, aren't they?
The Miz, with all the mid-card, like we said, who are starting to show signs of feuds, Sheamus still being open, the Battle Royal still being open, I think Miz, people like me probably still want to see the best for the Miz because he's still a guy who's been at WrestleMania, he's still a guy who can speak on the mic, but because of his absence, because of his stake, I just right now do want to see where they put him, but I don't think it's going to be main event.
No, I tend to agree with you, to be honest. Is that a bad thing at the moment? Probably not, considering the reaction. But, it'd be interesting to see where they go.
But while we're on the topic of returns, we're going to skip one return because of how it made many fans feel because of what he did and who he is. Great Khali. We're going to talk about the skip-de-doo-dah crazy chick AJ.
Well, I'm not going to make no bones about it. I like Paige. Do I like the way she's been booked? No, hell no. I don't think anybody really loves the way she's been booked. Maybe she was rushed into winning that title. Is it to do with an injury? Is it to do with AJ winning time off? Who cares, to be perfectly honest, because not many people do care about the Divas division. But I do have a lot of respect because I am British, hence the British fist. And, I like Paige. I think she can go far. Is she 100% of the mic? No, but she is still learning. She has just come in via NXT. I still class her as a genuine new, new performer in Raw and SmackDown land, if you will.
With Paige, I feel that she's got quite strong the AJ booking. Like the amount of divas she's already faced, beat, moving on from. That's exactly what AJ did. She beat all these divas. So right now, we've got Paige. If Paige was champion, who would have beat her? We've got AJ as the champion again. Who's going to beat her?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the problem with the Divas division all over, isn't it? I mean, you look at it. Alicia Fox goes crazy for a few weeks. Does she win a title? Hell no. Does it get built any further? No, it doesn't. We're back to square one again, and you've just said it yourself. At the moment, the only person believable, in my opinion, in the Divas roster that's likely to beat AJ back for that title is Paige, and then vice versa.
Well, the WWE are trying to show the likes of Naomi, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure AJ's defeated Naomi in the past, so what makes her suddenly different this time round, just because she's getting a push, does not really mean she should beat AJ. This is where the likes of where legends could come in to spark feuds. But at the same time, I think the Divas division does need a return of a name to at least spark something. But if that's not going to happen, I quite worry about this AJ return being great because fans love AJ. AJ's becoming, or she is, the top diva. Where do we go now?
I would love Beth Phoenix to come back. I'm a bit of a Beth Phoenix fan. As much as I love Paige, I'd love her to see her once again chasing win the title. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if Beth Phoenix comes in, cuts a horrendously great promo at the state of the Divas division, the fact that literally nobody really cares, nobody's really worried about it. You can do as much work with the Funkadactyls as you want. Nobody's really getting it, and it's not getting over with the fans, whether people like it or not. So somebody like that they were to come back in there, cut a real heel-like promo and win that title, that would spark a lot of interest, I think.
Well, as much as I would love to see the likes of Beth Phoenix, Michelle McCool, just names that were once quite dominant in the Divas division, I'm also looking at it and thinking the only people I've seen to beat AJ is NXT. So are we going to be bringing up another NXT Diva to beat AJ? We could, but we can't say that the only person or the only wrestlers, Divas, that can beat AJ for the championship are NXT, because yes, the Divas division's been appalling for quite some time.
It's not been great.
No, it hasn't. And Natalia should be in a better place. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't have the Divas division being about NXT wrestlers, Divas, defeating your main champion.
Yeah, and plus the fact, I mean, her name escapes me, and forgive me for that, but obviously Ric Flair's daughter, I believe it's Ric Flair's daughter, isn't it? You know, she's doing quite well. I've seen her a couple of times in NXT. I had some good fights with Natalia that I saw in one of the pay-per-views in NXT. I mean, the problem you've got also is you're recycling old ideas. You know, if you do that again and you bring up yet again another younger talent via NXT to win the belt off of AJ, how is that going to build characters? How is that going to build storylines? Because it's exactly the same as what happened with Paige.
Right now, we can name, like we said, all these fancy returns that could come back and at least draw attention to the Divas division. Yes, I'm glad that NXT is bringing new talent in, but right now, that's why AJ's return didn't thrill me. Her win didn't thrill me, because now I'm wondering, where can they go next? That will be something that we can buy into, believe, when it comes down to AJ's already beat pretty much everyone.
Well, I mean, I know that if you're from a WWE can do no wrong perspective, you'll get the people that will the argumentalists out there, shall we say, that will say, well, hold on a minute, Layla and Summer Rae are having a feud via Fandango and Ziggler. Nobody cares. Well, hold on a minute, what about Brie Bella having a feud with Stephanie? Nobody cares. And vice, and it just goes on and on and on. Every angle at the minute I'm looking at with regards to the Divas division, it's just not making me want to invest in it. And it's sad, because I want nothing more than to have a really exciting, energized Divas division. I just don't think, and I can't see a way that they're going to dig themselves out of the rut they're in at the minute, unfortunately. Was I sat there watching Raw thinking, oh, AJ's music, let's light it up, and she comes skipping around the ring? Was I sat there thinking, wow, this is exciting, what's going to happen next? No. I was sitting there thinking, oh, right, she's going to win the belt back now, is she? And then lo and behold, 5 minutes later, boom, new Divas champion. It's predictable and it's just boring.
And that's why pay-per-view matches, even Divas division, haven't really lit our enjoyment since back a few years. But the point is, we've spoke about the 3 major returns to WWE and especially Raw. Now it's time for you to share your thoughts on the return of Jericho, Miz and AJ in the comment section below. And please, please, please give a warm welcome to a new member of the British Fist, Mark.
Cheers, peeps.
And you can find him on his Twitter handle
at Marky Barbar.
And thank you very much for watching, people. Until next time, take it easy.